Countdown to Kickoff.
Rattler Countdown to Kickoff. Zay Major, the one and only, Big Zero.
Rattler Countdown to Kickoff. Go Rattler.
Welcome back to Rattler Countdown to Kickoff. I'm your host, Spencer Henderson. Man, we got beat down pretty bad this Labor Day weekend. And I know what y'all are thinking. Why do I have this bag on my head? Well, in 1999, Buddy DiLiberto, a devoted Saints fan, started wearing a bag on his head because of the miserable experience of watching his Saints. So in his honor, I decided to wear this bag on my head after the miserable experience watching Deion Sanders and the Jackson State Tigers beat up on my school. But anyways, on today's show, I will ask the coaches some tough questions about that loss in Miami. But I won't focus too much on that game. Instead, I will focus on the first home game of the year against the Albany State Golden Rams. Yes, Bragg would be lit. And on last week's show, I was terribly wrong with my prediction. I had the Rattlers winning by 7, and we couldn't even score 7. But I'll still give my prediction of the score for this week's matchup against Albany State. Rattler Countdown to Kickoff starts right now. We are back in Bragg today, so get ready to be entertained because Rattler fans from everywhere are starting to pile up by the hundreds for the home opener against Albany State in less than an hour. Now the Golden Rams are no pushover. As a matter of fact, they're undefeated on the year after beating Mississippi College 28-14. Last year, they ended their season 10-2 after losing to Valdosta State in the regular season and West Georgia in the NCAA playoffs. But now the Rams travel to Tallahassee after watching the Rattlers get beat down in Miami, Florida last Sunday. Jackson State ended up spanking the Rattlers 59-3. And although the Rattlers have been dominant in Bragg the last few years, the Golden Rams should be confident and believe that they have a golden opportunity. And these players should be motivated as ever to get their first win of the season. So after practice, I asked Coach Simmons what was his message to the players after a lopsided loss.
Well, the message is the same. A lot of our goals are still intact, right? One performance doesn't define this football team. These guys work too hard. They've grinded too much, right, to have one game define us. So for us, I told them, just don't let anybody tell them that they're not champions, right? This program has shown that it's one of the best programs in all of FCS football. And like I said, one game's not going to change that, right? So in life, we take our lumps, right? There's nobody that's watching this. There's nobody who lives who hadn't been knocked down before, right? The true mark of a great person is can they get themselves back up? And that's what we've had to do as a football team. We've had to do some soul searching. We've had to do some looking introspectively at ourselves, if we're doing the little things right. And then we'll come back and go to work every single day. So we've got a short week to get it fixed. It's a great opportunity to do so. We're back at home, playing in Bragg, and so we're excited to play in front of our home base for the first time this season. And I'll see if we can extend this home winning streak that we've been on the last couple of seasons.
Can you talk about, the offense, just the lack of being able to score against a team like that? You're able to put up 24 against North Carolina, but against Jackson State, weren't able to put up any points.
Well, offensively, it was the whole day was kind of just one of those crazy days. Never really been a part of a game like that where nothing went right. In all three phases, we just kind of laid an egg, right? Offensively, we had a chance to put some points on the board. Didn't take advantage. Missed a wide open guy there in the corner of the end zone on one throw. Had some opportunities on some other plays to hit some explosive plays and didn't take advantage of it. And so again, just didn't do the little things right. We didn't strain. We didn't play as hard as we're capable of playing. They outplayed us. They out-hit us. They out-efforted us. And that's not, who we are as a football team. Very rarely will a team say they played harder than we did. And last week, those guys played harder than we did. So just got to get back to being who we are, right? With that same level of intensity, same level of attention to detail that's made us a pretty efficient offense, since we've been here. But still got great players. Still feel like our scheme is good enough to be successful. We just got to get back to the drawing board and do some things a little bit better.
The last time the Rattlers lost in Bragg was in 2018 to the Bulldogs of South Carolina State. Coach Simmons understands the adjustments needed on defense and the work that needs to be put in this week in order to beat Albany State. FAMU won't be able to just roll their helmets out on the field and intimidate the Golden Rams, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. FAMU defensive coordinator Ryan Smith has to find a way to limit the opposing team from scoring points, because in the last 2 weeks, the Rattlers have given up 115 points and 10 touchdowns through the air. I caught up with Coach Smith after practice and asked him about how embarrassing a loss this was for the coaches and why he decided to only bring 4 players to pressure Shedeur Sanders.
Really and truly, it's more them than it is us. I mean, they were embarrassed by what happened, and they knew they didn't play what our standards are. And, they came back today and responded really, really well. So, excited to see that, excited to be back here on the grass and fix what was wrong.
We saw a lot of 4-man rushes in that game. Why weren't you putting more pressure on Mr. Sanders back there to, just to hurry up his progression?
Just through film study, he had some issues, I shouldn't say had issues, but he kind of held the ball a little bit more in quarters, and we were trying to get in to hold it. And, of course, when you have Isaiah Land back, in hindsight 2020, I probably should have rushed more, but, there's nothing we can do about it now.
And just moving forward, Albany State, real good team, 10-2 last year. What are some of the things that you can do to kind of shut them down for the
Well, you just got to worry about us. Like right now, we got our own stuff to fix and getting the right people in the right places. And, like I said way back before, we got a lot of guys in key spots that don't have a lot of game time under the belt in those spots. So we're going through some growing pains right now. But if you go back and watch the film, you're a guy here, a guy there away from really playing with them. So that's what we got to get fixed.
The Dark Cloud defense looks to have lost their mojo from last year. Just last year, the Rattlers were a top defense in the FCS, and losing Marquise Bell and Savion Williams looks to be a bigger loss than anticipated. But on the flip side, losing Bishop Bonnet has had an effect on this year's rushing attack. Last year, Bonnet ran for more than 75 yards on 15 carries, and this year, the Rattlers had only 17 rushing attempts against Jackson State. And the defense was forced to play more snaps than it liked. So I caught up with the offensive coordinator after practice to find out what he learned from his team.
Yeah, we got to go back to the drawing board. We got to go back to work. We got to work on the fundamentals, the base techniques, and the building blocks of the game. We got to get back to square one and get back to what got us, what's had us being successful in the past. And that is playing with great fundamentals, playing with great effort, playing with great physicality. So we got to get back to that. That's what we did today.
And I know that, last year, we was able to run the ball a lot, with Bishop, but it just seemed like we weren't running the ball a little bit in the first half to kind of establish a run. Was that a part of the game plan, or were you just wanting to come out, passing?
Well, it's you kind of go with what's working for you at the time, and we felt like that we would be able to throw the ball early and then be able to set up the run, and we got to continue to study, continue to evaluate ourselves, continue to do self-scout, really spend some time figuring out what is that we should be doing and what are we best at.
They're a team that's going to load the box and force you to beat them throwing the football. They're going to challenge the guys out wide and see if you can win your one-on-ones. Right? And we didn't do that. We had some guys open at times and we missed them. We had some guys that didn't run routes well enough to create separation, and we couldn't get them the ball. We had some opportunities where guys were open and we didn't protect long enough. So it's kind of a culmination of a lot of things that attributed to us not having a great performance on last weekend. So again, but that game's behind us. I don't want to continue to harp on the Jackson State game. We obviously know we have to play better. These guys are committed to doing so. The coaches are committed to doing more in game planning and making sure that we put a good plan together. And again, like we said on Sunday, you won't see the football team play as poorly as we did against Jackson ever again under my watch.
And just moving forward with the Albany State game coming up, what are some of the things that this offense could do to kind of get on the board and get the morale going?
Absolutely. Well, we just, again, one thing that we preached to the guys today and that we practiced really hard on today, and that's just fundamentals. We have to be a fundamentally sound football team. We watched the film from the Jackson State game, and there were so many details and so many errors that were left on the field. We got to find a way to make it important for our guys to do exactly what we're asking them to do. We talk to our guys a lot. We spend a lot of time meeting and talking about a lot of finer details. We're talking inches, we're talking steps, we're talking pad level, we're talking angles. Those things that really they add up to an efficient offense. And so we got to get back to doing that. Get back to the building blocks and the basics. And we had a good day of that today.
The coaches have to figure this out in a short week, and it doesn't get too much easier against the Golden Rams on Saturday. No, they won't have an NFL Hall of Famer leading them out on the field, but Albany State head coach Gabe Giardina won the 2021 Coach of the Year in the CA. And after leading the Golden Rams to a 10-1 regular season record, the team earned an NCAA playoff berth. So now Coach Simmons will have to let go of last week's embarrassment and focus on a well-coached Golden Rams squad.
Well, they're a team that plays with a lot of confidence. They take on the attitude of their head coach. Coach Gardine is a great football coach. Again, very intense guy, very detailed. So they're going to play hard. They're going to be sound. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to play with great effort, right? And so for us, it's about matching that intensity, matching that discipline, and matching that effort. I think top to bottom, we probably have a more talented roster than they do, but that doesn't guarantee victory, right? We got to do the little things right. We got to out-hit them. We got to out-execute them. And we got to utilize our size and speed to our advantage and eliminate big plays. And if we do that, I think we have a great chance against a really good football team.
That's going to do it for us today on Rattler Countdown to Kickoff, because the Rattlers are about to take the field as the first home game of the year is minutes away. And hopefully, these Rattlers can get their first win of the year at home tonight and end this current losing streak. And my prediction is the Rattlers will beat Albany State by 13 with a score of 23-10. So I hope you all enjoy the game tonight in Bragg Memorial Stadium, and make sure you stay hydrated. Have a good evening.